Hey guys, King of Charmanders here. Today I bring to you a video on the best Black Diablos Bow / Cera Coilbender builds for the Vernal Invader. So I received a few requests of what builds I use for my Black Diablos Bow. I will show you the builds I use and some top ones from mhn.quest. Again, thank you Sammy for that resource. It's incredibly valuable and I'm going to put the link inside the description. And here is a disclaimer. If you feel like something is better, then go for it. Everyone has their own build preferences and this isn't a mandatory you have to use this build clickbait video. I know I see some of those where it's like, oh my god, you have to use this item, you have to use this, you have to use that. This is the best, you need this. No, I don't do that. So yes, if you feel like something is better for Black Diablos Bow, use it. What you might feel is personally better for you is not going to work for someone else and vice versa. Alright, so let's jump right into it. First build, we have the Focus 5 Burst 3 build, which is my Black Diablos Bow build. This is one of the ones I use, and it works best against monsters where you aren't going to hit weak spots. Burst 3 is really great because as long as you hit the monster within 4 seconds, you can consistently keep the burst boost. And it's really easy to activate with Black Diablos Bow because of the pierce mechanic. So everyone literally bends over and starts pooping on pierce, and it's like, oh my god, it's so bad. No, it's actually really good because it's actually outside of spread where you have to be up close and personal. It's the only other one where it's super easy to activate burst, and because you can be far away and it goes in a line instead of spreading out in a fan like spread does, it's a lot easier to proc burst versus the other types. You can also use the Puke body in place of Pink Rothian Mail if you don't have it. Yeah, it gives you the health boost skill, but I don't like depending on health boost because I'd rather Pink Rothian, in my opinion, looks cooler if you're not using layered armor, but at the same time, I don't like depending on the health boost HP just in case. That's just me. But again, if you want to use the Puke body, there's nothing wrong with it. Burst 3 is also easily maintained with the Black Diablos Bow. I already went over that, and the extra 15% damage can help you clutch up against some monsters. Again, this gives you consistent damage throughout the entire battle as long as you keep it active, and Pierce is a great way to do that. And this is good if you prefer consistent damage versus crit chance. For this build, obviously, you need the Black Diablos Bow as high as you can, but if you want Park Breaker level 1, you need Grade 8 Black Diablos Bow. You also need the Azaratlos helmet at grade 6, the Pink Rothian Mail at grade 6, Rothian Van Braces at grade 6, Rothian Coil at grade 6, and the Gyratotus Greaves at grade 6. For the next build, we have another build of mine that I just use. Actually, I use this one most of the time. Like, for YGS and everything, this is like the one I use the most. It is a Focus 5 Part Breaker 3 build. And I already mentioned this is my Black Diablos Bow build. Not mine, I didn't invent it whatsoever. I just use it because that's Park Breaker 3. And it's worked consistently for me and allows for consistent park breaks, except for tails without practice. For those that don't know, if you use the bow in order for you to do a damage where you can slice off tails, you need to use the Dragon Piercer. So we can't slice tails off, unfortunately, unless you use the special skill with the bow. I've been able to do it for the most part, but I still need a lot of practice with it. You can also use a Puke body in place of the Pink Rothian Mail if you don't have it, like I mentioned before. And this is my default build against most monsters when I'm hunting for Wyvern Gem Shards. Actually, because of my Black Diablos Bow being so strong now, I just kind of use this build on default anyways. And Resentment level 2 is a nice bonus if you take damage. As good as I am at this game, I still take damage sometimes. And sometimes I get really, really cocky. And I'm like, you stand in front of it on the monster and you think you're an absolute god.
What happened here? Nothing at all.
If you know that scene, you know. And to use this build, you must have the Black Diablos Bow at grade 8 for Park Breaker level 1, which with the Black Diablos helmet at grade 6 will give you a total of Park Breaker level 3. Increasing part damage accumulated on breakable parts by 20%. You also need the Pink Rothian Mail at grade 6, Black Diablos Van Braces at grade 6, Rathalos Coil at grade 6, and the Gyratotus Greaves at grade 6. And now we're about to get technical because these are the builds from the practical damage assessments of Monster Hunter Now.quest, or mhn.quest to be specific. First off, we have the Focus 5 crit build, which is the number 3 top Black Diablos Bow build. You have a total practical damage assessment of 4013, which is the number 3 top build. I'm going to put why I think number 3 is better than number 2 in a second, but this gives you Weakness Exploit 2 and Critical Eye Level 2, which gives you a 40% affinity boost, and it cancels out the negative affinity, which is negative 30% if you hit weak spots. In my opinion, this beats out the number 2 build because of Focus 5, as the number 2 build is Burst 5 Weakness Exploit 2. So you don't have the charge sidestep ability that this build has. So the thing about Burst 5 Weakness Exploit 2 is that mostly you're going to take advantage of perfect dodging so that you do maximum amount of damage, but you can't charge sidestep as fast because you don't have Focus 5. And I'll use this build if I'm targeting a monster where most of my shots will be versus weak spots. Good example of this is Rathian and Rathalos' wings, as well as Diablos' wings, as if you are targeting the wings with a bow, it will be their weak spots, so you'll do more damage. So that's where you'll have the most out of Weakness Exploit. To use this build, you must have the Black Diablos Bow at grade 8. You don't need at grade 10. I just forgot to put at grade 8 for this. Azure Rathalos Helmet at grade 6. The Rathalos Mail at grade 6. Black Diablos Fan Braces at grade 6. Pink Rathian Coil at grade 6. And the Gyrototus Greaves at grade 6. And last but not least, we have the Focus 5 Latent Power 2 Burst 2 build. This is the number 1 top Black Diablos Bow build as far as damage goes, as this gives a total practical assessment damage of 4077, which is the number 1. To put it in perspective, if we compare it, the number 1 is 4077, the number 2 is 4025, and the number 3, which is the one we featured before, is 4013. So again, it's less than 60 points of damage that separate this build and the one in the third one. So use at your discretion. But the reason why this does the top of damage, as I mentioned, is because the Latent Power level 2 will give 30% affinity after 36 to 48 seconds and cancel the negative 30% affinity. So if this battle lasts more than the amount of seconds, then Latent Power will kick in and it will cancel out the affinity, allowing you to be able to hit for regular damage. So you don't even need to increase the crit, as you have Burst 2, and it helps add 10% damage until Latent Power kicks in, which makes it interesting. It's Burst 2 on average does more damage with Latent Power than you would if you put it into the positive, which is actually pretty cool. Although this is number 1, keep in mind Latent Power is only useful if the battle lasts long enough for it to activate. If you roast the monster in less than 30 seconds or whenever Latent Power procs, of course it's not going to be as valuable. So consider that if you use Latent Power builds, again, if you kill them fast enough, it doesn't really matter if you have Latent Power or not. But if you are all about the top of the top and you want top damage, this is the Black Diablos Bow at grade 8. You don't need at grade 10 for Part Breaker 1. Azeroth Helmet grade 6. The Devil Jill Mail at grade 6. The Rathian Van Braces at grade 6. The Rathalos Coil at grade 6. And the Gyrototus Greaves at grade 6. Again, if you feel like you like a build versus something else, you are more than welcome to use it. As I mentioned, the top 3 aren't too far apart. Of course, people are going to be like, no, this one, blah, 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 this and this. Here's the thing. Unless you can make a better tool than mhn.quest, then your opinions are kind of invalid because, again, here's said tool that actually does the math, and then you try to do the math. Yeah. We have something that actually data mines stuff versus something that doesn't data mine and update stuff, which is your opinion. This is factual data. So what do? We go off with the data. Even the military does this. Of course, 99% of you don't know about that life, or actually no, 95% if you're a veteran, but like, yeah, 96, whatever. Anyways, that's past the point. If you feel like using something, use it. Whatever personally is the best for you is what you will perform at the best, and if you perform the best at it, that's the one you should definitely use, and you can adjust and make adaptations later on. Because I'm not going to be right all the time, and these builds are subject to change as updates happen, and of course, when decorations finally come out. Hopefully this video helps you with the builds you decide to use for Black Diablos. Again, these are just a baseline. Hopefully this helps you improve, and here are the builds I use. I put the 2 in here along with the other one I use, which is the Wex 2 Critical I2 one. So there you go. That answers the question y'all been asking me. So those are the ones I use. Again, those are subject to change. But please do me a huge favor, like, subscribe, and comment for the YouTube algorithm. Again, hopefully this video does help you. For those of you that do have your Black Diablos bows, I hope you'll love them, and they are doing very well for you. And they drop all the Wyvern gem shards and Devil Joe saliva and Zinogre plates that you could want. Again, good luck on your grinds, and I will see y'all on the next video.
Ciao!